the Reform Party leader, Nigel Farage. Yeah, old fagash that he is. Well, he wants to abolish your pension. You know, the people who are voting for the Reform Party are voting against their own best interests, just like they did back in 2016. Idiots that they are. They can't help it. They have the lack of thinking. They have the singular brain cell and tiny wiener. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. No, we're not talking about wieners today. No, we're talking about the fact that Nigel Farage calls for the abolishment of the state pension, citing the strain from rising retired immigrant population. Yes, let's blame the immigrants instead of the billionaires who can't be bothered to pay any tax. You know, hoard all the money abroad, why don't you? Well, apparently, according to the right-wing conservatives, we should hold on to our rich bastards, yeah. That we're supposed to look after them. Because of us to run away with the money that they will. They're not fucking spending it. No. And those who are currently operating their businesses here, well, they're still going to be paying their taxes. They ain't going to have a lot of choice. What are they going to do? Shut down their businesses that operate in the United Kingdom because they've got to pay a little bit more tax? No. It's bollocks. Well, you see, your pension age is probably going to be increasing to 75 anyway. But Farage says that he's got a strong belief, he has, that the state pension system in the United Kingdom must be scrapped altogether. He argues that the current framework was primarily designed to support British citizens. Oh, he's a little fucking racist, that he is. Fascist bastard. Well, and is now facing significant pressure due to the growing number of immigrants benefiting from the system. Now, let's be honest about this. The system is not the same system as it used to be. There ain't no great pension pot. No. No. It's our youngsters who are paying. Let them have a say. Yes. They're paying for the bastards of the yesteryear, that they are. You know. If you're not a racist, fascist bastard, well then I don't mind. That's fine. Yeah, not a problem at all. But if you support Nigel Farage as his Reform Party, go to hell, quite frankly. Yeah, bastards. Well, I burped. And I'm going to carry on. Now, his solution is the complete abolition of the state pension system for all individuals, regardless of their nationality. Critics argue that his proposal could leave millions without any essential support in their retirement years. The other problem with this is, what is the replacement solution? Well, the replacement solution is going to be something like a private pension. Now, private pensions, if they're not protected, could go up and they could go down. Just like any investment. You might not have enough to live off, quite frankly. Now, I'm personally not a lover of private pensions. All I've seen over the years is a recession after recession after recession, and quite frankly, the value just plummets. You end up paying more in fees to manage your pension than you do actually in interest over the course of the year. In many cases, just for ordinary folk who've been paying a modest sum. Now, state pensions, or civil pensions, if you're in a council or school or something like that, well, yeah, they're definitely worth paying into. But some of these pensions are dire, absolutely dire. Now, for people like Nigel Farage, who's got shitloads of bloody money because he's robbed people, blind, and maybe allegedly took some money from food rations that here and there, lavish lifestyle, and Aaron Banks paying for his vehicle and his flat, and God knows what else, while he was campaigning for Brexit, which completely and utterly destroyed the United Kingdom's economy. Costing an absolute fortune, still is. Our GDP is absolutely dire, and it's costing more money to get it. So there's less money in the actual pot. Less federal spend for those old people's pensions of today. Now what we need, okay, is to get rid of this right-wing politic madness. Because it's just, well, it's culture politics. It's all based on fucking hate, even though I sound quite hateful at the moment because I'm sick and tired of hearing about people like Nigel Farage who just want to destroy everything. And I'm sick and tired of idiots voting for him, just like they did back in 2016 for Brexit, which completely scuppered the United Kingdom. There's no getting away from that, you know. I heard somebody on the radio say today, oh, well, you know, it was the civil service. They were making it difficult for Brexit to actually, that was bollocks. There was only one type of Brexit, and that was a failed Brexit. Whatever kind of deal or no deal or whatever we got, it would have failed. It was always going to fail. It was written in its DNA. You see, these people can make promises when they're fighting from the sidelines. They can say this and say that, but when they get into power, they're just going to let everybody down, just like the party before them. Just like Labour is at the moment. I can't argue with that, you know. They've been a bit of a disappointment, you could say. They lied to us. Liber, some people call it now. Quite frankly, I would like to see them tax the fucking rich. Right? I know what people say, don't do that or leave. Well, so what? So what? They are holding us to ransom. We have got so many people in the United Kingdom, whether it be the Russian oligarchs, hiding their money, laundering their money in the United Kingdom through crime and God knows what else. Keep getting on about Palestinian grooming gangs. What about the blinking Russians? Well, we need to get shot of them. Like we do. We need to get shot of them. We don't want them to be comfortable. We want them gone. So the money gets paid into your bank. You pay your taxes. Whether you're on PAYE or you're a small business, you're paying your taxes. It goes into the exchequer. And it pays for services. These people, not all of them, but the majority of these people who've got shitloads of bloody money ain't paying what's due. You don't even need to increase their taxes. You just need to make sure they're paying what they should be paying. All this hiding of bloody money and what have you. That's why we got Brexit in the first place, because of bills coming out within the European Union where you got to disclose. It begs belief, you know. People are just in cloud cuckoo land. They forget. Actually, I would say they conveniently forget what these people they're voting for have actually called for in the past. You've got Angela Jenkins calling on letting the migrants sleep in tents. Sounds like 30p Lee with his let them sleep in their tents. They can work in the fields during the day and then put them back in a quick cold shower and put them back in the tents again. And then they work in the field again the following day. Sounds a bit, does sound a little bit fascist, doesn't it, you know? And that's what Angela Jenkins basically said. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for, for our migrants. For Christ's sake. Oh dear. And they got Anne Waddlebottom going on about loads of bloody shit today as well. God knows what she was. I can't understand where she was saying. She's always talking a load of crap. Evangelical rubbish. And then there's Nigel Farage telling everybody that he wants to get rid of your pension. That he does. He wants to do an audit. Yeah, complete audit. And, that Angela won't get rid of your DEI, which is quite frankly not really a thing over here. We just treat people with decency, or try to in the workplace. That's basically all they want to get rid of, decency. And Nigel Farage saying, we're going to do a Doge. Department of Government Efficiency. Don't anyone realise this is just the same old shit that's going on across the Pacific there, across the pond, and it's quite... Oh, not specific, what am I talking about? Anyway, across the pond. Oh, Elon Musk Stoge. It didn't exactly work very well over there. There was going to be 2 trillion, then there's 1 trillion, then there's 150 billion, and in fact, when you balance it all out, it's absolutely zilch. In fact, you're out of pocket. This is just nuts. How can anyone point over there and say, well, that's the way we're supposed to be doing? Look how great it is. Well, it's not, is it? Wake up, people. They're lying to you, and you just listen. You're just happy to hear what you want to hear. It sounds good to you. Because quite frankly, you're just racist bastards. You know it is. You know? If you support someone like Nigel Farage, that's what you are. You're just a racist, nasty bastard. That you are. Yeah. Sorry, did I say it loud, or was it just thinking in my mind? You know me, I just say it as it is. And I'm not going to lie to you, no. I might make mistakes sometimes, I probably just did. I might make mistakes sometimes, but I'm not going to lie to you. I can't stand these people. I can't stand people who, quite frankly, have no intention of treating humans as humans, no matter what race or creed they are. Let's treat people on who they are, not what they are. Let's stop pointing the finger at people just because they came from a different country. You'd expect to be treated with the level of respect if you visited their country, or went to move and live in their country, or you went to Spain, or you went to France. I live in France, you know. Wouldn't you expect that you'd be expected to treat your neighbours with respect? And vice versa? You know? And I would expect them to treat me with respect. And they do, because I respect them. It all swings both ways. But you whinge and you whine and say they don't integrate. No, they don't integrate, they don't, no. I wonder why, when there's people like them. They're frightened to integrate with people like them. It's difficult to integrate with people. They feel safer around people of their own culture, even though they might not have been their original intention. But if you keep fecking while telling them how bloody awful they are and how much you hate them, and then you expect them to integrate, having a laugh, aren't you? The same me living here in France. If my neighbours are nasty pieces of work, which they're not, in fact, all we've ever really had there was love, you know. We'd help each other out, you know, our French friends and stuff. But you know, we don't get that. We don't get that. If you want to welcome people, if you want people to assimilate into your community, you have to welcome them, not point and stare, not call them fucking names, not use this culture bloody tribalism and all that, you know. Culture politics. It beggars belief. These people are just moronic. They really are. They really are. I'm sick of them. Absolutely sick of these people. I'm glad I escaped to the countryside here in France. I really am. Because I don't know what I'd end up doing if I was there. No, I was a little bit fighty before. I can't stand people like that. Crikey. Anyway, you tell me. Please leave it in the comments down below. How do you feel about this? And, you know, people like Nigel Farage pushing to one side normality and sort of decency. You only got to look at the people they've got in their party to understand that they are a bunch of fascists. A whole lot of them. Toodaloo. Oh, I did it again. Bloody hell, these flipping touch screens. Ooh.